I wouldn't have thought that I would have ended up owning my own business, but the 2 salons I did work in kind of led me down that path because I saw how it was done or how it could be done and wanted to do it my own way.
Yeah, I think that that's the inspiring part is like you can go and work for somebody else and a lot of people are perfectly happy doing that. But when you step out and do something on your own, you can make it what you want it to be. Hey guys, it's Kristen. I'm joined here today with Johanna. She owns Jo Louise Beauty in Nashua, New Hampshire. You guys know I love an inspiring story about an entrepreneur, so that's why I brought her in today. So welcome, Johanna.
Thanks, Kristen. Happy to be here.
Yeah, this is exciting. So I think a lot of what you do is inspiring women around you, whether or not you know that you are, but a lot of like the social media that you do and just like how you are as a friend to people is really inspiring, especially to other women. So how did you kind of learn to do that? How'd that start?
I don't know if it was like a learned thing as much as that I just have always told myself to show up in a really authentic way and to be vulnerable in a sense, because I think that's where the real connection happens, is just being myself, being true to that. In the beauty industry specifically, it can be really easy to get caught up in like the way things look and the ego of it all. And having been a witness to that many times, I just have always vowed that would not be the way that I approached it.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I think that's the best that any of us can do is just really try to stay true to ourselves, and then you attract the right people that way.
Right, exactly. You attract your ideal audience when you're being yourself.
Yeah.
So were you working in the beauty industry before? You must have been, right? Before you started your own business?
No, not really. I went to college for graphic design originally.
Really?
I'm a college dropout. I went for like a year and a half and I realized I hated it. I hated college, first of all. It wasn't for me. And I also hated graphic design. I hated it. I had an internship I think my second semester, and I was like, wait a minute.
This is not for me.
I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. So I dropped out of college and I worked just like a bunch of random jobs. I worked at a tanning salon. I worked at like an inbound call center for high-end credit card concierge services. And that was the last job I had before I decided to go to cosmetology school. But again, it was kind of that like, what am I doing here? This job is awful. I can't sell anything. I'm not a saleswoman. I'm just not. So I quit and I just like kind of tried to figure out what I wanted to do. And I've always been drawn to makeup. I've always been drawn to hair. Growing up dancing, dance recitals, I was always the one to do everyone's makeup and hair for shows and school dances and all that stuff, cheer comps. So it just kind of came naturally to me. So I thought, why not try to pursue that a bit? I wouldn't have thought that I would have ended up owning my own business. I definitely learned a lot, the good and the bad, from those other salon experiences. And originally, I thought I was going to be doing more hair than anything. So when this thing that it is now, I started doing makeup, it spiraled a little bit into this thing that it is now. But when I was in Salon, I told my boss, I'm starting to do weddings. I need flexibility in my schedule to do that. And it picked up for me so much that it didn't make sense to stay behind the chair doing hair and to really focus on, for one, what was making me happier, and two, what was becoming more profitable as well.
Well, how would you describe your business right now? So you're doing the salon stuff.
Yeah. So what started as just a makeup-only business has now grown into, we're a full-service salon. So we do hair. We have fantastic hairstylists. We do lashes, brows, spray tans, makeup, of course. And then I also now have booth renters too. So we have someone that does like Botox and injections. We have another esthetician that she does skincare, lashes. So we do a little bit of everything within Jo Louise Beauty, which is great. We really want it to be like a one-stop shop, for people.
That's so cool. So your first brick and mortar, right, was that upstairs place in Nashua on Main Street?
Yeah. So the location I'm in now is my fourth location. Since
you grew.
2016. Yeah. So the first one was really just like a safe place for me to have bridal trials because I was doing them out of my apartment originally, which got a little sketchy.
Yeah.
And then I think that first spot was 6 months. And then I moved across the hall to a little bit of a bigger space so I could do lash extensions and brows and spray tans to fill my week more.
Mm-hmm. And it was just you then?
And it was just me.
Oh
and then started bringing on a couple more people to do weddings with me. And then the team for weddings grew. And then about a year later, I moved street level on Main Street.
That was exciting.
That was exciting.
And then it went really wrong at the end.
That building was cursed. That building was cursed. Yeah.
Did all of that bad stuff happen after you had already told the landlord you were leaving, or were you still in a lease?
I was still in a lease. Like everything, like from the beginning. I tried to break my lease on Main Street before I even started.
For the listeners, all the things.
So it started with finding black mold when I like first moved in.
Perfect.
That got excavated, taken care of. Leaky ceilings. That was like nonstop. The building one day got struck by lightning. So it messed up all of
it's like one in a million chance.
No, like literally. I don't know why I didn't buy a lottery ticket that day. It messed up the traffic lights. And that same day, a woman drove her car into the front of the salon. So that was great. The side of the building had been graffitied. We had flooding and plumbing issues. It was just nonstop. It was nonstop.
Like, get me out of Main Street.
Yeah. And then we had already moved everything out, and we came back to grab like a few miscellaneous things, and the new tenant was there. It's a tattoo shop now. And we walk up to the front door, and there was like bloody footprints all outside. I was like, if this isn't the final bad omen that I need to get out, like, I don't know what else
Like,
is.
I think I might just leave my stuff here.
Like, I was like, the blood is probably a good sign to just get going. So it's been all good energy at the new place.
Thank God.
Thank God.
And how long have you been at the newest one?
Just over a year.
Okay. And how many people do you have employed now?
So I have 4 hairstylists, my salon coordinator, and then 2 booth renters and myself.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's grown so fast.
Yeah. It's been
Wild.
It's been a wild ride, but we're in a good place right now.
And so how do you juggle all of that with also being a mom? You have 2 kids.
I have
how
2
old
kids,
are they?
6 and 4.
Okay.
It's like nonstop. But over the years too, I've really learned like how to separate things a little bit more. And that's hard too. Like finding that balance between your personal life and mom life and work. But learning to balance that has made every aspect of my life feel a little bit easier. My mom's a huge support. She watches the kids. My boyfriend's a huge support. And where my ex and I are split, my kids are with their dad, those are the days that I'm like grinding it out the most. Those are my longest days. Those are the days I do weddings. So I try to stuff as much into that time as possible, because then too, it's like you get hit with the mom guilt.
All the time.
When they're with me, I don't want to be sitting there working. I got to the point where like when I would have to work and my kids were there, it's like they would like, irritate me. And I'm like, well, it's not their fault. They didn't sign up to have a mom that was like an entrepreneur and had 1,000 things going on at any given time. So I kind of had to like reset my mind a bit to refocus where I spend my energy. And I don't really deal with anything work related when I'm with my kids.
Yeah,
especially
that's so
now,
nice.
it's like I've got 50% of the time with them, So that time it's for them, 100%.
There's so many times where I'll be in the car and I'll get a phone call. I'll be with my kids in the car, I get a phone call and I'm like, shit. I'll pull over and like leave them in the car for a minute while I take the phone call, but I'll be like in Wyndham or Nashua where everyone knows me. So then people will pull over and be like, Kristen, are you okay? I'm like, I'm on a work call. Just give me 2 minutes.
That's it. It's not a car emergency.
I'm just trying not to let my kids hear me because they're screaming in the background.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, it's tricky trying to separate the 2 things. But you also, it's like a mindset thing too, because you want to be like grow and get your business to where you want it. But also like that's the same thing with the kids. You want them to have like so much fun with you one day and you actually remember what you did with them, not be like I was completely thinking about something else the whole time.
Yeah, and it's about that like present mindset, right? Like not being so worried about whatever else is going on and just being present for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like they deserve it.
Yeah, for sure. So your location now, are you still loving being in Nashua?
I do. I think like growing up, I don't know, I guess for me anyway, like I was like, I can't wait to get out of this shit town. And it's not even a shit town. It's like a big established city. Yeah. But I had that feeling of like, I can't wait to get out. And now I love it. Like, I love being in the city where I grew up and having a business there and being able to, get a little bit more involved. And it's also great, too, because I see so many people from all different chapters of my life being in Nashua. So it's been really great. I can't picture myself being in a different location.
I always thought that I would move away. Like, when we went to California, I thought we would just always stay far away.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm never moving back to New Hampshire. Like, losers live there.
I know. Well, and San Diego feels that way, too, right? It's like, why would I ever go back to the cold?
I live like 8 minutes from my parents'
Yes.
house, like where I grew up. Never went far, yeah.
But as a mom too, though, it's like you want to have family close when you have kids.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, realistically, I love it here. It feels like home. You
Yeah.
know, all of our friends obviously are here, like people
Yes.
we grew up with, our whole families. So now I just can't imagine ever leaving again. But, you know, when you're in high school, you're like,
I can't wait to get
screw
out of here.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
going far away.
Yes.
So what kind of other things do you have going on with the business? Where do you see it going from here?
For one, I have a few open spots still, so I'm building my team slowly. I think I've learned over the years it's really not about like quantity, it's really about quality and who you surround yourself. So fulfilling the rest of our spots would be one thing. Maybe a second location. I don't know about that quite yet. I would like to step away from taking clients as well and be a little bit more on the business side of things. And I would like to get into more education for other professionals in the industry, the do's and the don'ts of kind of how to run a beauty business, because there's a lot of gray area, I think, in this industry where, you know, we don't go to business school for this. And then a lot of people think, well, I don't like the salon I was at. I'm going to do it on my own, which is fine because, like, same. But it's not done the right way a lot of times, and it's not taught in school, in beauty school, like the right way to do it.
Right.
So
no one really teaches anyone how to run a business.
No, we're all stumbling around in the dark, aren't we?
I have no idea what I'm doing.
No, I wake up and I'm like, here we go.
What's going to happen today?
I don't know. So yeah, I would really like to focus on that as like an education, but also bridal education and the bridal industry, because I'm in my 10th year now.
That's crazy.
Of doing
do you still
weddings.
do weddings on weekends? Oh my God.
Yeah, every weekend.
It's just, it's like you do such a good job that no one
Thanks.
probably wants anyone else to do it.
Thanks. Thank you.
Every time you post pictures, everyone's like, oh, Johanna. This is the best bridal makeup.
I love it. I really do love it. And it's so hard for me to like envision a point in my life where I'm not doing weddings in some capacity.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy it. I mean, granted, there's definitely been some that I could live without, but for the most part, it's great, you know?
It's got to be hard, too, to find someone on your team that you trust enough to have them take over a wedding, because it's literally the biggest day of anyone's life.
It is. And in all these years of doing weddings, you know, I used to have a pretty big team. Our team is much smaller now, which it's nice to not have to manage as much. Also, it's really hard to trust people. And at the end of the day, it's my name, it's my reputation, and it's my business's name at stake. And I think it's really easy to sit back and just be like, well, it doesn't matter. It's not me. It doesn't, whatever. And those decisions that other people have made such an impact on my business that I'm at the point now where I'd rather keep it smaller knit, you know, and do what works and know that the quality going out is going to be to par with what people have come to expect when booking us for a wedding. I've been really fortunate to work with the same hairstylist for like the entirety of my wedding career, and him and I are like...
I remember him from one of the weddings that we did.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like my beauty boyfriend. You know, we do weddings together all the time, and there's such a trust there too that you know, we can like look at each other across the room and know what the other person's thinking, and we just flow so well together. And that's, I think, really hard to find too for the longevity that we've had too. I mean,
yeah, well, especially because I would imagine is he getting recruited by other people, like our other stylists?
He was working at a different salon up until last year. And I had for years had been like, just come here. Like, come work at Jolie's Beauty. Just, come, you know. And he's always been in the Seacoast area, which is where I actually had started as well, and how him and I first met. So he was, I think, hesitant to leave that. And then I said, there's this new location and gonna be so great. He was like, all right, fine. I'll come on.
Yeah.
So now he's in Salon with us too, which is great. Yeah, I mean, people do try to like scout other stylists, other salon owners will like slide into a DM.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I don't know if you found your ever salon home, but love your work. We have a position available. And that's not really ever been my approach. And I do see the messages that my stylists get, but the recruiting thing it's weird to me. I don't know. It's weird.